Hi and welcome to Phoenix Crypto. My name's Andy. Today I'm going to be doing a trade review, my most recent trades, what have I done, and more importantly, why did I enter? Okay, before I get into that, if you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to join my Discord community, there's a link in the description below. So, what did I enter? I entered a short. And I entered a short when I saw that. I entered around about here. It was about 64,500, give or take. And that was the point where I was fairly sure we were now heading for a big drop. We had broken down from the all-time high pretty hard. That was a nice short, and we were ranging. We broke down a little bit more and we essentially ranged, and it was about here. I think this was on Sunday. We had a nice little pump back up to here. I didn't short when we were at 66k. I didn't short. Could have, should have, perhaps, maybe, but I wasn't sure if we were going to push through it or not, or whether we were going to come down a little bit further. And I wanted to get a better indication. I wanted to get a confirmation that we were in a much bigger trend. If I go to the 12-hour, and it's actually not on the price action but on Market Cipher, which for anyone who's been watching the most recent videos, you'll know what I'm going to talk about. I had this trend line here. It had been drawn since maybe Thursday last week, and I was looking for a trigger wave to be formed here, and I felt if we'd got that trigger wave, we may have that may have been the catalyst for a move up. And over the course of the weekend, this formed. It's a bit smaller than I was expecting. I thought it would dip down a little bit more, but that was fine. We got the green dot, which was great. We then got a red dot over the weekend, and I was like, are we coming down? And then on that Sunday evening pump, back up to 66k, that red dot disappeared, and I actually posted in my own Discord that there was a scenario where, although that was looking suddenly very bearish, having looked bullish, that we might be okay for a move up, and that red dot, which hadn't confirmed, may not stick. And lo and behold, that panned out. The pump was quite short term though, and it was almost a bit of a FOMO pump, and it's clearly not created a very big momentum wave. And actually, we could turn around and say, all it has done is created a trigger wave for a move down, which clearly has happened. So this wave now has been completely invalidated, really, in my view. So the reason why I was unsure still when we hit 66k and we dipped down a little bit was I wasn't sure whether we were dipping down a little bit and then moving up, in which case this was a nice trigger wave, or whether we were plunging all the way down. So although, if I go back to the hour, this looks like, I'm not sure that's the best view actually. This looked like a missed opportunity. I wasn't completely sure that of what was going to happen, and I think what a lot of people do is they feel like they always need to be in a trade, and I think some people get in too early, feeling like they're going to miss out. and they're going to miss an amazing entry, and the price is suddenly going to run away, and they'll be left behind. I think the reality is that there is always another trade. There is always another opportunity to trade, right? If you miss one, fine. It's far better to be selective about when you trade and protecting your portfolio, because look, you can lose this really, really fast, right? It's really important to protect your portfolio and make sure that you are only really getting in at the right times. And I think that's just so important, just being selective. So yes, in hindsight, this looks like an amazing moment to have gotten in, but the reality is it's very hard to short the top and long the absolute bottom. You know, it's very hard to get the absolute top and the absolute bottom. And what I was looking for was confirmation. That was confirmation to me. It wasn't the only thing that was telling me we were going down, but once I saw it, particularly on such a high time frame, that was confirmation for me. And actually, it took quite a long time to get all the way down. If I go to the hour chart, you know, went down, went back up, you know, and I think, I mean, where was this? You know, I mean, for me, I live in the UK. I think most people probably worked that out from my accent. You know, I went to bed knowing that you know, this is going to take time to play out, and I wasn't worried. You know, I could see the macro trend, and the higher time frames had started to turn bearish. If I go to the 10-hour, you know, blood diamond, the 12-hour, which you know, that I mean, obviously that didn't appear straight away. I mean, had I done so, I'd have shorted up here, right? But when that appeared quite late on, you know, there was an additional confirmation. You know, we are definitely in for a big drop. So, you know, that was why I entered. There are other things that really said why. And I'll come into this line here. It's on the wrong time frame, really, but here we go. What I was looking at, in fact, that's a better one. The other thing, the reason why I felt we were in for a correction, and I should have taken more confidence from this. This is probably actually the biggest reason to have stayed in this, to have shorted earlier, actually. Was we're in this ascending channel, and for anyone who understands or recognizes standard trading patterns, you know, this is quite a, well, it's bullish when you're in the channels, but at some point you will break down, right? You know, that is reasonably inevitable. You will break down, and if I go to even the 4-hour, you can see here, you know, it breaks down, retests, then comes back down. You know, it's on the retest really that perhaps I could have been quite confident that we were going to break down further. But as soon as I saw us dip out of this channel, it felt, I was very confident that a correction was coming. And I think on my last video, I think I ended it saying, although it was macro looking bullish at the time, and this was perhaps about 2 hours before the dump, so you know, probably doesn't seem such a clever video now because I said it was looking macro quite good. But I closed the video and I said, you know, I was still deeply uncomfortable that we hadn't had a correction. There was no way that exchanges, who in my opinion are the biggest whales, right, are allowing us to move all the way up without flushing out longs. And I just felt that we just had not had a big enough correction to justify such a huge move up. We just hadn't had anything which really, you know, we would have had people sitting on high leverage trades, you know, comfortably in their longs. There was just no way that the exchanges were going to allow that to continue. Just no way. And therefore, we needed to have a correction. And this is the correction. I have no doubt about it. Have we had a big enough correction? That is probably the billion-dollar question. I think somebody said to me that in 2017, when in that bull cycle, before they went parabolic, they had a 25% correction. Now, we have not had 25%. I mean, if I was to measure from the absolute top, and I appreciate this is Ethereum, that's 15%. Don't get me wrong, that's pretty big. But the actual, since yesterday, clearly is not 25%. Wick to wick, 14, okay, pretty good. If I go to Bitcoin from yesterday, I'll go wick to don't know if I've got enough on the screen here. Wick to wick, just under 12. If I go again from the all-time high, just under 16, 15 and a half, don't get me wrong, that's good. Is that it? Difficult to say. I don't think the charts are giving much away. What could happen? Are we going to do something like this? Possibly. And I think we've just got to check, what kind of pump this is. I think we have to trade carefully. I think that's important. It might be that it's trying to form a pattern, an inverted head and shoulders or something like that, which we might recognise as quite a bullish sign. If I look at charts, if I look at these indicators, Wolfpack Pro, this is on a 12-hour. This is not looking like anything bullish is happening on a macro. Certainly isn't 18-hour. If I go to the daily, nothing at all. Drawing random lines. If I went to 2-day, we're probably still feeling the effects from this. If I look at the Bollinger Bands curving round, coming back, and how many more days have we got for this to play out? I mean, are we going to suddenly, peak, and spike here? I'm not sure. If I go back to that hugely bullish move in that was coming, I think if I go to the daily in here, look over what time period that built, right? That was the summer months. That was 2 months. I'm not saying we're going to get 2 months of that kind of, but if we go to 12-hour, look what we had here at the end of September to get the spike. This was a huge move in the beginning of October, 1st of October, I remember well. Look what we had to get. Clearly, we are not getting that here. We are not there. And I'm not sure I can be convinced that, in the next day or two, we're going to get a big spike. Can't not convinced at all. And when I put out the video yesterday, I mean, CryptoFace had put out a video, I think a day before, saying, he was expecting a 5 to 10%, move to the upside, based on the same thing, that trigger wave on the 12-hour, and I was eyeing up that as an opportunity from about Thursday last week. I was posting in my own Discord and a couple of other Discords that I was in that I was waiting for this trigger wave, and I saw that as being potentially, one of the big signs that we were going to move up. And we've obviously had this correction, while painful for some, profitable for me, certainly very, very necessary. So, we can't see, a lot of macro indicators, really, indications, I should say, really telling us that we're moving up massively. I mean, the monthly here isn't really particularly showing us anything. If I go to Market Cipher, that monthly dot, probably has played out a little bit. So yeah, I think that's where we are. So I think in terms of why I got into that short, you can clearly see, by drawing this line, you can see, I was expecting that this is, we were far from over. I think people saw this drop as phew. That was it. We've got away with it, lads. That is, we are out of the woods, and that is just not true. And I think was a bit optimistic from people, and they get lured in again with this nice little move up to the upside. Oh, we're out of it. Not the case, and we it might not be the case now. What I'm sure will be happening is there will be a pattern formed to help build, I suppose, a trading pattern that's going to give us a confirmation that we're going up. I don't think it's yet finished. I've been looking at the charts. People have been telling me an inverted head and shoulders has been created, but I can't see that yet at all. When to enter a trade, when to enter next, I think, is probably the question that a lot of people have probably got in their minds. And you can clearly see I've drawn this trend line here, and it got shown a lot of respect, actually. If I go to let me get rid of this red line, because I think we know the point I was trying to make. We can see, sorry, I'm messing around on my screen here. We can see here how much respect, that trend line got. Okay, so if I just make that bigger, drop down, hit that trend line, reacted back up again, dropped, came up, retested, dropped, retested, the other side this time, rejected, come back up, tested, rejected, tested, we've gone up. You can see this wick here, rejected. I don't think I would enter until this has gone up and retested this again. If you are entering longs, or any trade for that matter, in and around a support or resistance line, you are liable for a reaction to go the opposite way. So if you're entering a long now, it can reject off here and head down. Just because we've had this, the time to enter was here, and that's an incredibly difficult thing to predict. And this is what I mean by it's very hard to always long the bottom, or very, very hard, because there aren't a lot of indications. I mean, everything else is going down, so it is a little bit of a gamble. The only way to really know is to understand where are the really big pockets of resistance or support. So this was clearly a very big pocket, and needed a bit more time. You could argue this was 60k was a bit of a pocket of support. Came here, sat, really struggled, took a few attempts, retesting again. Big area. If it drops again, I dare say it'll get through that. It just needed to test it, first. So, if you're looking to enter longs, I think that window's passed. That would have been a scalp, and you would have to have been really ready. it's very, very hard to scalp these. The best way to do it is if you're already short on one account and then you long on another, right? That's really the best way to do it, because then you're hedging, and you can make money here, and still make money on the way down again. That's the best way to do it. If you're short here, it's very hard to exit and then long, because you're never quite sure whether you've hit the bottom or not. Really not sure. So at the moment, I think the best play is not to trade. I think it's to wait for more indications of what's to come. The market will tell us. I think there is a danger that people want to be in a trade and look for trades that perhaps aren't there, and end up in a position where they get caught thinking we're out of the woods. And I think that's really dangerous. Let the trades come to you. Let them come to you, and we'll wait and see what the market's got to bring. But in terms of yesterday's positions, so I made, if I go back to the 8 hour, 700%, getting to 60k. Now, I was pretty much when I woke up. So that was a great little present this morning, waking up to 700% profit. Then I exited my short, which I'm a little bit annoyed about, because I wasn't sure if we might react and move up. We didn't, we ranged. It was only about here that I suddenly feel like it might be in the candle before, actually. Just there, I thought we rejected quite hard off that trend line, and I felt this is going to be another big reaction. That move netted 400%. So I think in total it's an 1100% move, which is pretty staggering. And I did that for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm now wishing I did it for more coins, and made even more of the dip than I had. Why this has gone up to the upside, that will be a bullish divergence. So you can see here, there's a clear, price is getting lower here, momentum is building, these waves are, so there's the bullish divergence. Is that divergence enough on a 30-minute enough to take us to 70k? Not particularly. So if for anyone who's sitting there thinking why aren't we going back up more rapidly, that just does not have the level of momentum required to get to that point. So that's a review of the trades that I took, and why I took them. You can see that Market Cypher played quite a strong role in that. Wolfpack Pro a little bit less. Don't get me wrong, it did have nice confirmations. And I suppose the confirmation the Wolfpack Pro gave me was this one. So having already shorted here, when you see that, you know that we're in for a big move. That was when I woke up telling me actually we've got a bit more to go. So Wolfpack Pro actually gave, and I think this is one of the benefits the Wolfpack Pro has over Market Cypher, is the fact that while more complicated and more information on the screen, you can clearly see 3 different things there, or it's giving me added confirmations. This is a strong sell. I'm getting that when we're already pretty down. Is saying, well, we're going to drop a lot further. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me for this episode. I think it would be great to have a few more people join the Discord. There is the link in the description below. If you like the content, then hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll be looking to do some more videos this week about a few other different types of topics. So if there's anything you want to know, then put it in the comments below. Thanks very much.